Hi guys, Jimmy here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe and having a great week so far. So there's a trend going around at the moment, 7 questions for movie collectors. And I was tagged in by Marty from Mad Marty's Movie Reviews. If you love his still books, check out his shorts. Honestly, the stills he's showing is just unbelievable. I'm just seriously jealous of the collection that he's getting at the moment from Shout Factory. Check out his channel, Marty, solid guy. So he tagged me in 7 questions for movie collectors, and I'm going to take you through my 7 choices and let me know what you think of them. So question 1 is, what was the first movie that made you love movies? So this might be a bit of a surprise. It's not Star Wars, it's not Empire Strikes Back, it's not Superman, it's not Indiana Jones. It is in fact the first film I seen twice at the cinema, and I realised then that I actually don't mind watching films on the big screen again, and it is Back to the Future. Yes, I must have been about 12 years old, I think, when this first came out. First time I saw it was in King Street in Hammersmith with my mates, and then I was visiting a family member in Wimbledon, and I remember saying, oh, I'll catch you later. And then my sister said to me, what are you doing? I said, I'm actually going to go back to the cinema. And she said, what are you going to see? I said, Back to the Future. And she went, didn't you tell me about that earlier on? I went, yeah, but I'm going to go and see it again. And I remember watching it for a second time and thinking to myself, I quite like watching films twice on the big screen. And that's what started all off about me going back to the cinema multiple times when I was younger. I don't do it now. But yeah, so question 1 would be Back to the Future. This is the film that made me fall in love with movies. Now, question 2 was my oldest DVD in my collection. Now, unfortunately, as we do when we collect things, every time an upgrade comes out, we tend to get rid of the old stuff. So my oldest DVD would have been Soldier with Kurt Russell. There's a new edition out now, which is the 4K version from Arrow, but I actually went to WH Smith's and brought, is it like the snap case? We had the little plastic spine running down it, you had to flip it open. That was my first DVD that I purchased. It would have been my oldest one, but I gave it away. However, I did find something else, which is my oldest import that I still own. And that was the first one I got, and that was from play.com, and it was Big Trouble in Little China. It was my first region 1 or A or NTSC, whichever you want to call it. And that was Big Trouble in Little China. So I've still held on to this because I love the film. I think it's an absolutely fantastic film. But that would be, I'm pretty sure this is the oldest DVD in my collection. All the rest of them would have came after this. I've given so many DVDs away, which is just, yeah. Now I think about it, I shouldn't have given so many away, but I did. But that's going to be my oldest one in my collection, I'm pretty sure. So question 3 is a film I didn't like but love now. So when this film first came out, I remember seeing it in the cinema, I think it was, and I thought to myself, what on earth have I just watched? Yeah, I was just thinking, I just can't see the attraction in this at all. And I'm talking about Total Recall. Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, what on earth is going on? Directed by Paul Verhoeven, and I think I was thinking of RoboCop. And when I saw this, I was like, I can't see what all the hype is about. I don't know what's going on with this. And I didn't watch it for ages. And then I think I picked up a DVD copy, watched it again, quite liked it. Didn't watch it then for years and years. And literally, I don't think I watched it until this edition came out. And I thought, do you know what? I'll get it and see what it's like. And now I really, really enjoy it. But when it first came out, I was like, this isn't good. This isn't good. But yeah, now I really enjoy it. So let's see what question 4 is. Okay, so question 4 was film soundtrack that you love. And this was relatively easy for me. It's from probably my favourite Western ever made. I think it gets overshadowed by the Dollars trilogy. It's directed by Sergio Leone, soundtracks by Ennio Morricone, and I'm talking about the soundtrack to Once Upon a Time in the West. What a film. Henry Fonda stars in this. It was shocking because up until that point, he'd only played good guys in films, and in this film, he plays an outlaw, and the opening scene is brutal. Still gets me to this day when I watch it. I can't believe what he does at the beginning of this film. And it shocked a lot of people at the time it came out as well. I can't find the exact soundtrack from it, but I've got this Ennio Morricone themes, which is his Western themes. And it's that title track there. The title track to the film itself, I think, is fantastic. But that would be my favourite soundtrack to Once Upon a Time in the West. Absolutely adore it. I think this is a fantastic film. Yeah, so that would be film soundtrack that I love. So question 5 was a remake that I prefer to the original, and that was quite straightforward as well. I was surprised actually. So the original was called The Thing from Another World. Really enjoyable black and white film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is good. It's really, really good. I think this is classic. But it was the remake. John Carpenter starring Kurt Russell. The Thing, yes. Well, if you love cult classics, this is the one. The proper old school special effects, no CGI that we get now, all handmade. Absolutely stunning film, on point. I can watch this all the time. I've lost count of the amount of times I've watched this film actually, but that would be the remake I prefer to the original. So question 6, a film that scares me. So that was trickier than what I thought actually. So I absolutely love A Quiet Place 1 and 2. And it's the emotional relationship between the father and the daughter that gets me whenever I watch parts 1 and parts 2. Especially the first one. It's their misunderstanding they have about how one another feel about each other. But that's more emotional than scared. So I was thinking about that. And then, first of all, I was going to choose Hellraiser. I remember renting this in my mid to late teens, I think it was. And that did scare me back then. And the special effects were unbelievable. But I didn't choose that one for this question. I've gone back to one that still makes me feel a bit depressed afterwards. It still scares me because of some of the scenes in it. And I'm talking about Dawn of the Dead. I think it's the whole based around a shopping mall that we still go to. And then, the fact that if something was like that was to happen, we would go to places that were familiar to us, even though we're dead. So it would be Dawn of the Dead because it still has that very bleak, somber feel to it. And after I watch it, I do still get that, oh my gosh, sort of feeling to it. So that still does it to me now. Texas Chainsaw Massacre would have been very, very close to, but I'll plumb for a film that still scares me, Dawn of the Dead. And then the last question was a film that makes me hungry. Yeah, I didn't know where to begin on this one. I really didn't know where to begin. But then I remembered something, and a nickname I used to have at work many years ago. So I have plumbed for the film The Blues Brothers. It's to do with when they go into the cafe to recruit one of the band members, and Aretha Franklin is behind the counter, and he says, I want 4 fried chickens and some toast. And the reason why I'm laughing is because where I used to work, I was known sometimes as Jimmy 4 Toast. Sounds like a gangster's name. It's not. It's because every morning I would have 4 slices of toast for breakfast. That's no joke. They would call me Jimmy 4 Toast because that is what I would have every morning. Whether I had bacon or eggs with it or sausages with it, it was irrelevant. I would always have 4 slices of toast for breakfast without fail. And I still do it to this day. No matter where I go on holiday, I have to have toast for breakfast. So it would be the Blues Brothers, that particular scene where they walk in there and ordered 4 fried chickens and toast would be the choice that I would choose for a film that makes me hungry. Anyway, guys, that was my list. Hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, let me know. Do check out Marty's channel. As I said, the steelbooks he shows are just crazy insane what he's getting at the moment, and he's a top guy as well. He really is a nice guy, so check out his channel. Thanks for watching. Any questions, as I said earlier, let me know. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you real soon on my next vlog.